Welcome to the live signing for my new book, From the Ground Up, which just launched yesterday. Very exciting for us. So we are so excited to have you all here with us tonight. We're going to answer some questions that were submitted by people that have already ordered the book and sign a few copies and just have a general discussion regarding the book, our lives, design, building. Of course, this is my husband, Daniel,
Hello.
for those of you who are not super familiar with him, though you should be. He's got the beard. Everyone knows the beard. So we are so excited to be talking about this book. It is called From the Ground Up, Building a Dream House and a Beautiful Life Through Grit and Grace. This book tells the story of my life as it is paralleled to us building our dream house from the ground up, primarily with our own hands. So we take different stories that we experience throughout the build process and correlate that to different things that I have experienced in my lifetime as far as overcoming generational poverty, growing up in an extremist religious cult and being able to break free from that, and build a life that is just greater than anything we would have ever imagined possible. Of course, the house in and of itself is something that we are just so proud of and was truly life-changing for us. Very, very exciting. And then also a piece of this, which is a very big piece of our lives, is how we utilized social media. So, and of course, not everyone is trying to grow a brand on social media, but no matter where you are in life or what you're doing, social media can truly offer tools and opportunities, connections that can help you wherever you're at in life, no matter what you're trying to do. So there's just some tidbits of wisdom and things that I learned along the way that other people may be able to implement in their social media journey as well. So that's kind of the three basic aspects of the book: overcoming your past, building a life that you love, and utilizing social media to help build that life. So that's the basic premise of it. And we're going to jump in and answer some of these questions that have come in for us. And we're also live streaming on TikTok and Instagram. So hi to everyone over here. I don't know, is this for sure live? Let's double check this real quick. Oh, I don't think it went live. It must not have had a good connection. I'll try it again. All right, so Daniel is going to be our moderator this evening. This is my handsome Vanna White here, and he's going to read us some of the questions that we are going to talk about tonight.
So we'll look on here, some of these questions, and then we got some questions coming in on IG. So we will start with, have you always had a passion for design? And tell us about your journey.
So growing up in poverty, design was not something that was frequently discussed. However, I had a grandmother and she loved decorating and designing. She had this beautiful old Victorian house and it had a massive front porch, and there was nothing I loved more than sitting out there on her front porch swing, drinking like sweet tea or lemonade. And she always had a stack of magazines sitting there, like, Country Living and House Beautiful, I think, back then. And I would just flip through these magazines just in awe. And of course, it felt so surreal, so just out of touch with the reality that I knew, but I loved it. And while I never thought that it was something that I would be able to do, I just found it so interesting and loved the idea of it. So as I got older and began, my adult years, I always loved, working in my own home and creating beautiful spaces. But I'm not professionally trained or have any schooling in this exact topic, but it's just a natural eye that and just the passion for it. And then as we got to build the home and design it, and we've worked with customers over the past 12 years, doing different like bathroom remodels and kitchen remodels, and sometimes be like, hey, help us put these things together. So I was able to experiment with my talents then as well, but it didn't really blossom until we pulled this house together. And when you're making 10 million decisions every
Split second decisions.
Yes, split seconds decisions that you're going to have to live with. It definitely puts you on the spot, and you learn really quickly how to make good decisions. So that really propelled me into design.
I think from my perspective, it was somewhat easy when we built the house because we're very like-minded, and we have a lot of the same likes as far as design goes. We both love the farmhouse style. So there was not a whole lot of bickering or arguments with, I like this style or I like that style. And usually I would just defer to you if I didn't really have a preference. But she'll tell you I'm very opinionated when it comes to things. So she did a fantastic job, and I just could not be more proud of her and what she's accomplished. So we will go on to the next question.
So this one is actually kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said as far as making those 10 million decisions. So read it for us.
How do you overcome decision fatigue? And it says, I feel, this is from Lindsay from Florida. How do you overcome decision fatigue? I feel like so many things will look good, but they're all different styles.
That is one of the biggest challenges most people face when it comes to designing a space, especially when you're doing a whole house, because it's hard to know like what styles go together. How can I make all of this blend yet still make it my personal style? So I think the most important thing is to determine what you really love, like what brings your soul peace and joy. And if you can kind of dial in on what that looks like for you and not worry about what other people are going to think or what the latest styles are, the trends, and what's out of style now, what's not popular anymore, but instead focus on what you love, then that will get your radar going in the right direction. Now, as far as decision fatigue, it is a very real thing. And especially if you're doing something like a full house build, you will absolutely experience it. It's inevitable. But I found that keeping myself very organized, whether that was like Pinterest boards or my mother-in-law, when she was designing her house, she had this massive file and she would print out all the different designs that she loved and organize them in those files. So just keeping it very organized and really pinning down what you're loving and finding the direction that is taking you in versus every single day just getting on Pinterest and looking at all these ideas or scrolling through Instagram or looking at magazines and just being torn in all these different directions, but really just nailing down, this is my style, this is what I love, and focusing your searching in that direction and just not second guessing yourself. If you really love something, and it speaks to you and that is what you want, do it. And don't worry about like, oh, this might not be right or someone else may not like this. If you love it, go for it.
I think the other thing with decision fatigue is the more you can plan ahead of time,
yes,
it really helps. So that way you're not down to the last day and your plumber's asking you which fixtures you want, or do you want a wall mount, or do you want a faucet mount, or a flush mount. So I think that planning is a huge part of that, eliminating the decision fatigue. And then I think also stepping away once you're in the thick of it, of the build, step away, take a little bit of time, go out on a date night, go wherever it might be that calms you, the bath, or just take a walk on the beach with your kids, or whatever it might be that kind of settles you a little bit. And then you can come back to it and say, now I've got option A, B, and C, and I can choose from there.
We had many decisions made on the little cocktail napkins at our favorite restaurant for date night. We'd go there and we'd get our little cocktail napkin and a pen, and we'd be like, all right, Leah, let's plan this out. So we've actually done house plans on cocktail napkins. We've done all kinds of stuff on that. So that's a great place. It takes the pressure off. You're just able to sit and relax and actually enjoy the conversation and hopefully help your brain make a clear decision. So, and that actually leads into this next question I thought, which was really good.
Have you always Can you explain the process from start to finish on a typical project?
That's a really in-depth question, and we could sit here and talk about that
for hours.
But I would say the biggest piece to this is planning. And in the other book that we have coming out in October that talks more about the process behind building the house versus the story of building the house, it really delves into that, like how important the planning process is. And I mean, in reality, we spent 7 years planning for our build. And so when it came time to actually happen, we kind of had this general idea of what we wanted, and we were able to make it happen easier because we had planned so proficiently. So whatever project you're getting into, make sure to set aside plenty of time to plan properly. And other than that, I don't know, do you want to get into that question anymore?
I feel like I'd be too long-winded.
there's a lot that you could go into that. So I do think that would get a really long answer.
We're going to go to the next one here.
All right, let's see. Let's find the next one that we were going to do.
I like that one. What's the biggest takeaway?
Okay, go ahead.
What's the biggest takeaway you want your readers to gain from your book?
The biggest takeaway, and there's lots of little takeaways, and different pieces of the book may speak differently to different people that are in different stages of their life and going through different things. But I think the biggest overarching message is to just never give up, and if you're in a corner and it feels like I'm done, like I'm not going to be able to get past this, or I'm not going to be able to make the life that I love, or I'm just going to be stuck in this position forever. And, I just wasn't given the things that other people were given, or I don't have these opportunities that other people have. And I'm just stuck here. But knowing that anything is possible, anything. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, hard work is just the answer. Like, get up early, work hard, and, you can accomplish anything. We all know that that's not the truth. Hard work is absolutely an element of any type of success. You're going to have to put in the work, but also just doing the research and putting yourself in the right position so that when the opportunities come your way, you're able to jump on them and take advantage of them. If when we started our build and I had seen the opportunity of social media and I hadn't put myself out there and began that journey, even though I had no experience, I had no followers, I had nothing at the time, if I hadn't put myself out there into that position, 5 months later, when I got that first DM that ended up just completely changing our build, I wouldn't have been in the right place at the right time. So whatever position you're in that you're trying to change, or whatever dream that just feels just impossible to you, knowing that it can happen. And it's going to take work. It's going to take grit. It's going to take determination. There's going to be tears of frustration and sleepless nights and days you'll question, like, what am I getting myself into here? And even days that you'll take steps backward. Even days you'll make mistakes and you'll end up on the wrong path. But just remembering what that end goal is and what you're working toward, and getting yourself back on that path, giving yourself grace, saying, it's okay. I made those mistakes. I messed up. But I'm back on this path and I'm going to focus on that. And put one foot in front of the other. Even
you took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to chime in and say. Put one foot in front of the other every single day. It doesn't matter how tired, how frustrated, how overwhelmed you feel inside. Get up and just keep going.
Yes.
You can feel like you're backed into a corner. There's always a way out. You just have to think outside of the box. I think that's a huge thing. And for us, I feel like that was one of the biggest keys in our build, is we constantly we're thinking, what else can we do? What else can we do? And that always drives us. So I think constantly, continually, every single day in your brain, what are you doing to grow? What are you doing to get better? And what are you doing to overcome any scenario that you're in?
Yes. And just realize time. It takes time. It takes time to make changes in yourself. It makes time to become a better person. It takes time to have a healthy marriage. It takes time to raise good kids. Those things do not just happen overnight. So giving yourself grace and taking the time that it needs, and just every single day taking those little steps, putting one foot in front of the other in the right direction. And then one day you will literally wake up and be like, wow, I am exactly in the place I did not think was possible 10 years ago. And look what I've accomplished in this 10 years. just by making those correct small decisions every day. So that would be my biggest takeaway. Yes, someone over here says, every day just strive to be 1% better than yesterday. I love that. 1% every day. So good. All right, let's find another question here. Favorite room in my house and why? And I'm going to guess that some people over here could guess what this is going to be. What's my favorite room in our old house and why? I'm sure some people can guess it here in a second, but it is my pantry. So that was the one room that it was my peace in heaven. I love to cook. That's where I spend a lot of my time as a mom when I'm home and cooking meals all day. So for the first time in my adult life, to not only have a pantry, but it to be just something that was so pretty and so organized and just had a spot for everything. And I had my little baking station in there with the oven and the window that, I could look out and watch the kids playing while I was baking. That was just a very small piece of heaven for me, and I miss it.
I don't know that I have a favorite room in the house. I loved every room because we built this house together. But I would say my favorite non-room in the house would be the pond.
Yes.
I was like a little old man out there every day picking weeds and cleaning up, and it really, that was my relaxed spot. You could find me out there 80% of the time. So that's definitely a must-have for our new build, is to have a pond. Just listen to the water, watch the fish.
It was probably something we would have never just been like, oh, we should put a pond in. But once it was in, it was like, wow, this is amazing. And I saw what a wonderful old man he's going to be, because he would just be out there piddling all day long. Like, I see the old man in you coming out. So that was definitely a fun spot for us. Okay, next question.
For someone who is new in design, this is from Lindsay from Florida. For someone who is new to design and struggles with keep the home organized, what are some easy, practical ways, inexpensive, to make your space aesthetic?
Ooh, that is a really, really good question. And this is where I was, 12 years ago, 10 years ago even. And we had a rental for 7 years. All my children were much smaller back then, and we didn't have a lot of money. So I was always trying to find different ways to make our home, organized and beautiful, because obviously the key to organization is having a place for everything. And when you're in a smaller house and you don't have a lot of closet space or pantry space, that can feel very overwhelming. But what I learned to do is just break it down into small things and not worry about like the house as a whole, but really focus on just one space. And for me, I started with the living room. And that could maybe be a bathroom or a hall closet or a kitchen or a pantry, whatever room you want to pick first. And I worked really hard to just get organization set up in that room and make it my goal every single day. I will not go to bed until that room is perfect. And throughout the day, I would just kind of like, make sure it was always picked up. And as I learned, like, hey, that room is staying clean. I've got this, a couple weeks in, and it just became easier and easier and easier. So then I would add on another space and another space. And it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go to the Container Store and, spend a ton of money on baskets and jars. My favorite jars ever are from like TJ Maxx, Marshalls. They're like $5-6 a piece. And have these really pretty copper lids on them. And you can even go to the Dollar Tree and just get plastic bins to put everything in. So just having a home for every little thing. Band-Aids, they have a home. Neosporin, it has a home. Whatever you have has a home. And when you get it out, train yourself and train your kids, train your husband, your spouse to, if you use it, just put it right back in his home and put it back. It's not something that's going to change overnight. It is going to be a process. It is still a work in progress in our house, but we're getting better, and that it doesn't take a whole lot of money. It just takes time and patience and persistence. But over time, you will be able to make improvements. And as far as design, because I know I kind of touched on the organization part, but just the design part, the biggest thing for me with design is just take your time. You don't have to move in and like have a
fully
new,
furnished.
yes, fully furnished and fully decorated. Like, take your time. In our old house especially, I would just rather have a room empty for a year than I would cram something in there that I don't really care for. So I would take my time, find the piece I really, truly loved, something that really just felt like it brought me joy. And I would wait until I found that piece, whatever that looked like, and then I would put it in there and just not let it bother me that it wasn't done. So take your time and look for something on sale, look for the bargains.
Antique stores.
Yes, yes.
Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. Oh, we have some good times on Facebook Marketplace. Some slight addictions, maybe.
Would you and your husband ever consider airing a show?
So what we've talked about, the only thing we would ever consider doing, and it's actually in the works, but would be just doing like our own YouTube, more like a TV show versus, just content. But as of now, that's all we would like to ever do. Just having the kids, and like, we love our life how it is, and we like to have, be able to control where we're going and what we're doing and how we're doing it. So we would not want to be on a show at this point. But
I think just creatively,
yes.
we feel like we would like to just stay in more control of that. And I'm just not real good with scripts, so they can just go ahead and toss me out. So do you ever dream that a hobby I'm sorry, this is Olivia from Iowa. Did you ever dream that a hobby would turn into such a huge following and fan base?
No.
Never.
In one word answer, no. But before I jump into that one, make sure you all know that you can go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett and order your signed copy of the books. That's what, I'm talking more than I am signing, but I promise I'm going to sign them all, and you will get a copy with a certification certificate that says that it is signed. So make sure premiercollectibles.com/Jett, order your signed copy there. And if you're not local to me, this is the only opportunity that you will have to get a signed copy. And even locally, we don't have a whole lot planned. So this is the perfect time, as of yet. Yeah. So this is the perfect time to get a signed copy of the book. So, okay, so back to the question. Did you ever dream that a hobby would turn into such a huge following and fan base? Absolutely not. We had no idea. And when we started,
it's 5,000.
Yeah, my goal was to get 5,000 followers on Instagram. Hi, Instagram, the original platform over here. By the time we got done building the house, and I thought maybe I could do like some home goods or something like that and show them in our nice new house. And if you would have told me then what we're doing right now, and like that you all are here and we're talking to each other and having this conversation, and there's this book here in front of me, I probably just would have laughed and like, what are you talking about? I had no idea. But we are so thankful for it, and just feel so humbled to be here and to be able to share our lives and our love for design and build with the world and our family. And we're truly just grateful for that opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you to each and every one of you who have helped make this happen.
Us.
Yes. And encouraged us along the way.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about our entire journey. We've just met so many really, really cool and just kind people along the way, whether just meeting them at Legoland or just random places we go, just sitting and talking with people, and the trips we've gone to Utah, which leads us into our next question here. Justine from Colorado says, what's the favorite place you have vacationed?
Ooh.
I would say the Utah trip that we went on. It was a 3-week trip. That was just a phenomenal trip.
Yeah,
kids just absolutely
amazing.
Loved it. And that was the trip that kind of pushed us over the edge to sell the house and maybe do a little bit more traveling or help me push her over the edge.
That's the trip he used to trick me into selling the house.
What's your favorite trip? What would you say?
I'm going to answer this question over here real quick. Is our book out in Australia? Yes, it is. They sent me the list for it finally yesterday, so I will make sure I post that somewhere, but it is in Australia. Trip, obviously, yes, Utah was amazing. I loved it, but also just as a mom, I love going on a cruise because I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean, I don't have to do laundry. Normally when we vacation, we get like an Airbnb, and I'm still doing the, meal planning, I'm grocery shopping, I'm cooking, I'm doing laundry, I'm cleaning up after everybody. So it's still quite a bit of work, even though we're having fun doing it. And I don't mind it. Like, I love that part of it. But the first time we ever went on a cruise as the kids got a little older, and his cousin Ann actually came with us. I think she was like 14 at the time. We called her Nanny Shanny. And she helped watch the kids, and we got to just like hang out. And I was like, this is my new favorite vacation, which we haven't got to go on in a while, thanks to COVID, but it is my favorite vacation. Okay, and then this one here, we haven't got that one yet.
Any advice on motherhood and raising children while trying to keep your home organized? That's from Catherine from Wisconsin.
So my biggest piece of advice is give you and your children grace. I promise it will take off the stress. I remember when my older girls were younger, and I understand that I have it, like my kids are so spread out that yes, number 5 is on the way, but they're so spread out that it is nothing compared to like women that have 5 kids under the age of 8 or something like that. Totally different, chaotic world that I do not claim to know anything about. But when my older girls were younger, I remember one time I was talking to my aunt, and I was like, how do I do this? Like, how do I let them be involved? How do I let them help me cook, make brownies, do whatever? Like, I want them to do it so bad, and I want them to be in here with me, but it's a disaster. Like, I'm signing up for like double or triple the work because I know it's just going to be a mess. Whereas I could just jump in the kitchen and bake something and it's done. It's making so much work. And I don't remember exactly what she said to me, but basically just slow down. Just it's going to be okay. Like, even if they make the mess, just leave it. Don't stress yourself that it has to be cleaned up immediately. These years will fly by, and when you're on this side looking back, that's easy to say. When you're in the moment, those are definitely some of the longest days of your life. Like years go fast, the days go so slow. That is so true. But just slowing yourself down, realizing that there is going to be a time in your life when your house is going to be perfect. You're going to wake up and it's going to look exactly like it looked when you went to bed.
You'll be 70.
In a good way. And you and your friends can sit and have coffee, and you'll be bored. And maybe you won't be. But you'll miss the chaos and the
pitter-patter of feet.
Yes, that was around when your kids were little. So just remembering the most important thing is not having a clean house. It is not, worrying about what anyone else thinks about you, but it is loving those babies and just being the best mom that you can be, and just savoring the time that you get with them. And know that you're going to have blow-ups, and you're going to lose your cool, and you're going to get frustrated, and that's where the grace comes in. So just give yourself the grace, start over again tomorrow, and give those babies some grace. All right, let's see if we have any more questions here. I don't know if there's a couple other ones that we skipped over here.
I saw one about some baby names. We're not real sure about baby names. We've got some names that we're kind of toying with, girl names. Not real sure yet. I think she might be set, but.
All right, so favorite project we have ever done.
Our
and
house.
Then, that one's easy, our old house. And then any tips and tricks for entertaining or hosting. So entertaining or hosting, I do that.
Do it at somebody else's house.
A lot. Yeah, do it at somebody else's house. No. So this one is from Jessica from Texas. And we end up hosting a lot of things at our house. You know how they say, like, once people know you can do things, they're going to ask you to do them from then on. So when I married into his family and they all realized, like, hey, she loves to cook, she loves to entertain. It's like everything came to my house, which I love. But through the years, I've learned just to keep it simple. Like a big meal, a big whatever get together is not the time to try fancy new recipes that are going to have you pulling your hair out or taking forever in the kitchen. Just keep it simple. Do just a charcuterie board. Just kind of throw everything out. Do some simple recipes. And don't be afraid to ask people to help clean up. Like, don't let, just everyone walk out and you're stuck by yourself doing all the cleanup. Don't be afraid to say, like, okay, let's all jump in and do some dishes here together. So that way at the end of the night, you're not sitting there looking at a big messy kitchen and wondering, like, what in the world happened here? So, all right. Can you
go to these other questions here?
Yeah, is that it right there? All right. They gave us 22 wildfire questions that we can ask.
Minutes.
In 2 minutes. I'm supposed to answer 22 questions in 2 minutes. If you all over here on TikTok and Instagram, if you have any questions, we can't really scroll back because You cannot see the baby bump right now because I actually have my jeans unbuttoned. I sat down. I was like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. So I can't show it to you right now. But if you look at the picture I posted on Instagram today, you can kind of see it in my coat. So we are going to start digging into these. But if a couple of you want to ask any questions, we will try to answer those as well. And make sure you go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett to get your autographed copy of the new book. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm doing it in silver Sharpie, so I don't. Oh, actually, that's not even the one that's signed. It's not just the reflection. I thought it was just the reflection was hiding it. So you can still see this. The reflection's kind of hard, but it's there. So we'll have all of these signed and sent out. So premiercollectibles.com/Jett to get your signed copy. All right.
22 questions. Where were you born?
Springfield, Missouri.
Should I do it too? I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. Who would you want to play in a movie?
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Play you in a movie. Okay.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. You go first.
I could see like a Reese Witherspoon, maybe.
I'm at a loss.
Someone super sexy for you. I don't know who that'd be.
Me.
He just play himself.
I don't know. Who's my favorite actor?
I don't know.
I was going to say Samuel L. Jackson, but that probably is not going to work. I'd say maybe, I don't know, Chris Pratt. So, what was your favorite job?
Oh, your first job.
Why am I not reading this correctly? What was your first job? What's your favorite job, too? What was your first job?
This was my favorite job right here. This is my favorite job. My first job, I worked at this little retail store called basically I did retail from the time I was 16 on. So.
What chore do you hate doing? I'll answer that one. Dishes.
He has a list here. Go ahead. We have time. Share your list of chores you hate.
I hate doing dishes. I don't mind vacuuming. I don't mind sweeping. Dishes are my nemesis.
All right. This person says, what do you guys do for a living? Sorry, I was trying to figure out what the next question was to you. So what do we do for a living? So at this point in our lives, we have a couple different things that we're doing. So we have the flip houses going. Mm-hmm. So we have it is 100-year-olds now if it was built in the 20s. Mm-hmm. Your old farmhouse that we completely tore down to the studs, straightened it out, and we're putting it back together, and that's almost nearing completion. So that's what he and his crew are focusing on now. And then I do social media and work with different brands, and I have the book as well. So we just have our hands in a couple different little pots right now.
What's your biggest fear?
Oh, something happening to my kids.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah, that.
Who makes you laugh the most?
Probably Crew.
I'd have to agree with that. Crew is our wild man.
He just makes me laugh all the time.
What is the one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Not for my sake, but
milk.
For you and Crew's sake, milk. I don't drink milk. I don't like milk. They went through 3 half gallons of milk in one day this week. I'm like, seriously? How is that even possible? How is that even possible?
What was your favorite school subject?
English. What was yours, honey?
PE.
I knew where that was going.
Who is the most interesting person you met recently?
In person or
in general?
In general, I got to do a podcast with Katherine Schwarzenegger, and that was really interesting. That was really cool. She was a really sweet person, and I really liked her. So that was really neat for me. How about you? Anybody you've met interesting lately?
No, I'm pretty boring, I guess. What is your middle name? Wayne. What is your biggest pet peeve? Me eating beside you?
Yes, him eating beside me. I cannot handle it. I'm like, why?
What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby.
Picking out tile.
Yes, that when we were building the house, Amelia told somebody one day, she was naming like each person in the family's favorite hobby, and she gets to me and she says, my mom, she really likes picking out tile. So I have a very interesting life. Probably cooking though. I love cooking. So that's something I would just do for fun, is like cook a big meal. I enjoy that. And what's yours, honey? Go ahead, name the list.
We'll be here. Do we have enough time?
I don't know if we have enough time.
Golf, basketball, dirt bike riding, four-wheeling, playing poker, you name it. I love to do it.
When we got married,
fishing,
I said, can you
hunting.
at least just pick a couple of these hobbies to focus on instead of like doing everything under the sun? Here, we're getting a couple questions over here. Okay. So most mature child obviously is Isley.
Don't say that too loud.
Well, she's just the oldest. I mean, that's kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Most mature as far as taking care of kids, we're going to put Ava in that one.
Ava is really good with taking care of her siblings. She is like, I don't have to worry about them being fed or taken care of. She is truly like a second mama to them.
She sits down, does arts and crafts with them. I mean, plans out a whole day. She's phenomenal. She's our little planner.
Absolutely. And then someone else is talking about building our house. So we have the land. It's completely clear. The pad is ready. So it is just waiting on us to finish the house plans.
We are, for some reason, we're dragging our feet on that one. Yes. Not like we've got a whole lot going on right now anyways. You want to do a couple more from over here?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we are in a hotel.
Yes.
The kids are currently in the bathtub. We told them to be extremely quiet. I told Crew to play the ninja games where he can sneak up on people and just be extremely quiet. So do you have, what's your guilty pleasure? No, not chocolate.
No, I don't.
What's your guilty pleasure?
I don't really have anything.
Oh no, I would say baths by yourself. That could be your guilty pleasure.
Maybe getting to read a book is nice. I don't get to do that very often anymore. Do we have any hidden talents? Not really. I can play the piano a little bit.
What's your pet's name? Bailey.
Yes. Colors your toothbrush gray. The last album that you bought or streamed? Taylor's version, of course.
I had a rule at one point in my truck that we did not listen to Taylor Swift. These kids and Noelle, they just wear me out with Taylor Swift constantly. Nothing against Taylor, but it does get a little bit exhausting to hear the same person.
Okay, the baby. So we're getting a couple questions here. Baby is due on September 7th, but I always have a C-section about a week before. So we're hoping that they'll let us do it on August 31st. So that way it'll be born in the same month as Isley, Ava, and Daniel. So hopefully they'll let us do it on the 31st. So we shall see. All right, what was the next one over here?
The last gift you gave? Flowers. I gave you flowers yesterday.
He gave me flowers yesterday for my book launch, which was so sweet. And
what cause is dear to your heart?
For me, it is giving back to the type of community that I grew up in. So just, more impoverished people that just don't have the opportunities to accomplish things like some people do. And just, they're just not given a whole lot in life. And so one of our longer term goals is to do some type of nonprofit where we're really able to help make an impact in those type of communities. Just, those little girls out there who are who I was, 30 some years ago, to be able to go to them and help make a difference.
What's your greatest achievement?
Our kids.
I would say our kids.
Our kids. Above all.
Where do you want to go that you've never been?
Ooh. I'd like to go to Europe or Greece.
Europe? Yeah.
So here's a crazy random fact about me is I've never had my passport. So unless I travel like on a loop, like a cruise, I've never been out of the States. So that is my goal, to get my passport and do some real traveling outside of America. So, all right, another quick reminder is to go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett to get your autographed copy of my book.
You got a lot of signing to do.
I know. I've been, actually, I'm a really good multitasker, but when I get to talking, I forget to do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Your hands are always busy.
Yes, my hands are busy. Okay, so we're getting a lot of questions about the gender. So we really are going to try to wait until the baby is born. We have, 3 girls, we have a boy, we have, both genders. So we think it would be really a fun surprise to be like.
I really thought you weren't going to be able to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought to myself, it's gonna drive her crazy not knowing, and especially Ava just being kind of in your ear all the time. I figured she would.
Ava's hilarious. She constantly is like, "Mom, do you want a bite of my ice cream?" And if I say yes, she's like, "It's a girl. I knew it. I knew it was a girl." Or if I smell something, she'll be like, "You smelled that? Did it smell good or bad?" And whatever. And then she's like, "Oh, that's a boy." Like all day long, she analyzes everything I do, everything I say, everything I eat, trying to decide if it's a boy or a girl. So it is pretty funny. It is the best to wait. I'm really excited. I really think so. And a couple names, we're still obviously way undecided. But as of right now, I think our top boy is Cash. And then our top girl is Adeline Ruth. So I was actually 12 weeks pregnant with Crew when my great grandmother passed away. And I didn't know if it was a boy or a girl yet at that point. And I thought at the time, if this is a girl, I'll name it after my great grandma. But it was a boy, so we may do that for this one and do Adeline Ruth. But we still are very undecided on that. So, all right, I'm not doing very good at looking at the Instagram screen over here. My friends and I use jet set as a verb. I love that. We love you too, guys. Truly, we are just so grateful for all of you, and we love it when people come up and introduce themselves and take pictures and talk to us, and it is just so much fun, and we're just so grateful.
Absolutely.
To be where we are right now, and hopefully we pour back into all of you and bring value to your lives and inspire you with our story and provide the blessings to you that you all are to us. That is our goal.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We really appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
From the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely. All right. We're out of questions over here. Let's see. How does it feel to be verified? We've been verified for a really long time, so I forget about that. Who's most excited about the new baby?
Not Amelia. Amelia had a little minor breakdown the other night.
Well, Ava did tell her life's gonna really change after the baby comes, so that kind of
we had to walk her through that
into a tailspin.
But I think Crew's pretty excited. I don't know, maybe Isley or Ava.
I think Isley and Ava are the most excited. Yes, I actually did that with my older kids. They're saying little secret to do a necklace over your belly, and if it goes straight to straight, it's a boy, or if it goes in a circle, it's a girl. I remember doing that with my older girls, and it was right. But I really don't want to find out. So I really just
do it while you're sleeping.
Oh, Ava was like, I'm just going to go in and do an ultrasound when you're not watching. Like, how are you going to do that? Hi, Sophia.
How many kids do y'all want? I think we're done.
This is the last one. So because this will be my 5th C-section, just from a health perspective, it wouldn't be healthy for us to try to have more. But we always just felt like we weren't finished. We always felt like, I don't know. And I mean, I had given up. I thought it was never going to happen again. But something about it I always felt like there was going to be one more. So we're ecstatic to have this one, and it's going to just finish off the family perfectly, and then we will absolutely be done. All right. No, we're not going to find out the gender. We just talked about that.
We do not want another dog.
No, we do not.
We didn't want the first one.
They
did. I didn't.
The children wanted it really bad. He told them for many, many years that he was highly allergic to all dogs.
And that's the truth.
And we can never have a dog. And then they got older and they were like, wait a second. They're hypoallergenic dogs, Dad. and they kind of called his bluff. So we got Bailey, and now he loves Bailey. I have like 10 different TikTok drafts
that she won't post.
I won't actually post them, but they're so funny of like him like
Bailey
kissing
loves me.
him kissing on the dog and like snuggling with her and like, you're my best friend. So
she's a good dog.
She is a good dog. She is a good dog. Thank you so much, Sophia. I appreciate that. All right, so make sure you guys go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett, order your signed copy of our book, and I will have links up after this as well so that you can go straight to it and order it. Are we related to Arnold Jett? Are you related to an Arnold Jett? I don't know an Arnold Jett.
I don't know.
No.
Arnold Jett.
I don't know. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Ava. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. That is awesome. Can you hear my real voice now? So this is when I'm just talking like this. This is what it is. So when I go to do a voiceover, I did customer service work for so many years that I just got used to having that like more polished tone when I was talking to people. So if I were doing a voiceover, I would get a little more specific and say exactly what I'm trying to say without having any filler words, just being very precise with what I'm saying. Versus just having a normal conversation where I probably have a little more inflection. So I don't know if you guys could just hear the difference in what I did there. But that's all it is. It's still my voice. It's just a little more professional. Awesome. I cannot wait to hear all of the feedback on the book. Where are we from? So I grew up outside of Branson, Missouri, and my husband was born and raised in St. Augustine, Florida, that general vicinity. And I moved to Florida in 2001. So at this point, we're both, I'm not a true local, but, I've been there long enough. You've been looking for my book everywhere. You can find it. It's available anywhere online. If you go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett, you can get an autographed copy of it specifically. Happy birthday, Addison. Awesome, Claudia. I cannot wait to hear your feedback on it and your thoughts. I'm so excited. I love getting so many messages telling me, their thoughts as they're reading the book and their feedback. It just makes me so happy. Neighbors from Orange Park. We have a lot of family over off Old Jennings Road.
The book is called From the Ground Up.
Yes. So if you search just From the Ground Up book, it will pull it up for you. Or, like I said, premiercollectibles.com/Jett for the autograph. And the full title is From the Ground Up, Building a Dream House and a Beautiful Life Through Grit and Grace. And just to kind of recap what I talked about in the beginning, it's kind of into 3 sections. So the first section is overcoming your past, whatever that may look like. For me, it was like a childhood of poverty, grew up in a cult, very extremist religious group, and very sheltered childhood, didn't know a whole lot of what was going on in the world. And then, so just overcoming that, lessons I learned in overcoming those things that I share with you. And the second one is building a life that you love. So, it just talks about body image and confidence and marriage. Talks, just anything that I have learned in my life, finding relief in the midst of discouragement. Actually, it might be a good thing just to kind of read the chapters here for you all. That way you kind of get an idea. So chapter 1 is called Rich or Poor. Chapter 2, hold on, I lost my place here. Oh, where'd it go? Chapter 2, When the Going Gets Rough. Chapter 3, Finding Relief in the Midst of Discouragement. Number 4, Learning on the Job. Instagram, Where It All Began, is Chapter 5. Beauty on the Inside is Chapter 6. Dusting Yourself Off After Rejection, Chapter 7. Chapter 8 is Finding Happiness in the Midst of Uncertainty. Chapter 9, Accept Help. Chapter 10, Oh, Marriage. Chapter 11, Building a Brand from Scratch. 12, Trolls and Insecurities. 13, Monetizing Through Social Media. And Chapter 14 is Patience and Peace. So just a lot of different stories from my life that kind of parallel with the build that we did, and just lessons that I've learned, and hopefully some little nuggets of wisdom that you can extract from my life's journey and use in your own. So it is called From the Ground Up, Building a Dream House and a Beautiful Life Through Grit and Grace. And what is our favorite family holiday? Christmas?
Yours is Christmas, yes.
Christmas. It doesn't help that my birthday is on Christmas, so it's always had a very special place in my heart. But I just love the family time and the feeling of coziness and we usually go home to Missouri around Christmas, so we get to see the Christmas lights and have the chill in the air. So I love that part about Christmas.
Does your husband treat Isley like she is his? Yes. Yes, I do. We've seen that question like 8 times now. Yes, Isley is my sweetheart.
Yes. I didn't know if you want to get into that or not, but yes, he is wonderful to her. Hi, Lily Grace. The baby's due date is September 7th, but I have a C-section usually about a week early, so we're hoping they'll let us do it on August 31st so that it will share an August birthday with Isley, Ava, and Daniel. And yes, the kids are currently in the bathroom. We're at a hotel. We came down to Tampa last night. I had a TV interview this morning, so that was really fun. My first in-person TV interview. Very nerve-wracking, but they made it so much fun. It was a very fun process. And so the kids, when we came to Orlando about a month ago for the kitchen and bath industry show, they made an Orlando bucket list. And one of the top things on that list was going to Legoland. So when they asked if I would be willing to come to Tampa, I said, well, actually, yes, my kids are wanting to go to Legoland, so that will be perfect. So we went to Legoland today for a couple hours. It rained so bad, but we still had fun. And then we're going to go back tomorrow for a couple hours. And so, yeah, we're still here in a hotel, and the kids are in the bathroom being nice and quiet.
All right, I think that's it, right?
All right.
45 minutes or so?
Yeah, I thought she was going to.
Okay, I think she said just let us know when you're ready.
All right.
Well, thank you guys all so much. We really enjoyed it. And
thank you, Lindsay.
And we're very, very excited to get your books, and we will continue signing. Although we haven't done a whole lot, but we'll definitely continue signing if you want to take on a couple more questions before we wrap up.
What's your question, Ava? I definitely wasn't intentionally ignoring you. There's just a lot coming in and we're trying to talk to. Where did it go? Ava. Where did she go here? I don't know where it went.
There's Ava 74.
Yes.
Ava to my comments.
474. I would be happy to respond to your comment if you want to put it one more time. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Would we ever start a YouTube channel? We actually have a YouTube channel, but we just have not put a lot of energy and effort into it. So that is on our...
Can we go live together?
Can you go live together? Not tonight, unfortunately. We're doing the live book signing, so I can't bring anyone on with me, but maybe we could do that another time. All right. Well, we appreciate you all being here with us tonight. Again, make sure you go to premiercollectibles.com/Jett to get your autographed copy of the new book, Hello from Oklahoma, and Pregnancy Cravings. Yes, I can make a whole video on those. So we appreciate you all being here with us tonight, and it's been a pleasure discussing the book and answering all these fun questions. And make sure you go order your copy of it. It was so exciting. I woke up this morning and it was #1 bestseller in its category, so on Amazon. So that was a really exciting thing. So keep it up, keep ordering it, tell everyone you know about it. If you read it and you love it, go leave us a review so that other people will want to read it, even those that may not know our platform or know who we are. So I would really appreciate any reviews that you're able to leave, and truly hope that you appreciate the book and that you find something in it that touches your life. Anything else?
I love it.
No? All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.